So, something on my end came up this Friday, so I gotta pause up what I was posting for that day. So, apologies in advance for that. Anyone who needs me, hey then, or wants to play with me on my new systems, my friend code, my PSN, or my channel info. So, with that in mind, having just finished the third episode of the that just dropped entitled Vitus Reflux. So here are my first impressions on the latest Star Trek spinoff to help bring in the 60th anniversary of the entire franchise, Starfleet Academy. And I want to also let other people know who, regardless of whoever they are, that my any words I have to say here are of my own conclusion, so I'm definitely not a person you're going to get a canned answer from. You're going to get hit something that I actually think about this, and I consider what I've seen so far to be good, and I'm interested to see where it goes. So, let's begin. So, oh, I definitely can say that some of my favorite stories of past seasons have involved the Academy in some way, as well as past works of fiction. And to see an idea just baked so thoroughly into the franchise has meant that by design, when I first heard about this idea, I was intrigued. And especially when I found out the Academy's turnaround is also a spacecraft, aft the USS Athena, NCC 39 2023. He especially like the design of the craft, whether it's earthbound or having to make their way back to Earth in San Francisco. Oh, and I also was intrigued by the whole 32nd and century timeline, which will be like the furthest in the future that they've been in canonically speaking, and just the idea there of how far off it is it's definitely a one that's gonna keep me coming back, and even though I may not actively talk about each spin-off that I've seen, and I've definitely done one-offs like this, I will be following along with the show as it goes on, and and if I may make something off the cuff here, I honestly think that DHS has bigger problems than what's going on online personally, and that they don't seem to understand and the material. But that aside, I definitely like the mixture of both newcomers that I'm not entirely familiar with, but definitely have a lot of potential, but also putting more seasoned performers in the cast, especially like Holly Hunter as the rogue captain turned an academy headmaster, and Paul Giamatti as the villainous a space pirate. He seems to be enjoying himself, and of course, both are steadfast fans of the franchise, so that also helps quite a bit there. I'm also liking the return of Ricardo's hologram, and still every bit much keeping his theatrical his original variations had, especially when he's teaching fellow cadets to appreciate the opera. I mean, so, and also a lot of these concepts we're dealing with have been used before, but that's not to say they can't still be explored or used in unique and new ways. I mean, the whole headstrong Hong captain, even just doing like a mock combat exercise known as Calica, is not always the best way forward. Heard heard that, and you can't just keep ramming through again and again, expecting things to turn out differently. Hey, the whole prank war between different branches is, yeah, turns out, not only is that generally frowned upon, that even in the 32nd century, the zero tolerance mindset gets everyone involved, hold a minimum 35 hours of hard labor. I mean, I know they don't really mention it, but I pity whoever gets latrines in that situation. And of course, they're also exploring the idea of peaceful whole negotiation and how much of that is needed until they resort to more open conflict being in sense. I mean, the Federation keeps the peace through diplomacy, but Starfleet still has, if they need to, prepare for war. And even though I'll admit some stuff is admittedly kind of flashy, I don't have anything against Kurtzman or other creatives that worked on previous movies and shows like some people do. If anything, I wish them well on their endeavors, and I will say again, objectively, it looks absolutely incredible. Their production designers, editors, and DPs who got for the show are certainly making this look good while I'm watching it on my display that I have my PS5 hooked up to, my computer, or if I'm so inclined, just want to watch my phone, that's also totally fine with me. So, I basically have been in actively a fan of this for 30 years or so to speak. If I've heard one bit of discourse over a change of creative direction or characterization, I've heard them all. I definitely try not to immediately jump to grabbing a pitchfork or lighting up a torch, or just because I don't always agree with a creative decision being made. But at the same time, I do think that debates about where the franchise is headed are worth having in good faith, especially since I still realistically do not know what Skydance's endgame is, as now that they're officially partners of Paramount and CBS. Yes, but I do believe them when they say that they see this alongside other stuff like Transformers, Mission Impossible, and now Sonic, among others, as key assets in their portfolio, which implies to see the IP as valuable. Or they certainly are putting out, uh, making an effort to put out better games, one of which I'll also be covering fairly soon. This so it definitely won't be the last bit of Trek stuff you'll see this year. It's hard to wait and see what it is, though. You might say we might voyage across the unknown, so to speak. Anyway, even though I'm not going to be posting tomorrow, I will still be doing more and more writing and enjoying my systems. Just so you know, I'm not just going to be having some sweet pastries and watching Flapjack, which will also be true. I also gotta help someone else transfer software over to a new system they're expecting, so I'm staying with. That'll be all for now, and I will see you all again soon, so full and prosper, everyone.